Estés errón de y con encomputers.com. Otra video para ti hoy. I might get interrupted from the pale-skinned European savages in this building that drop shit from the third floor, or they slam doors on the first floor, and yet guess who gets snitched on? Oh, I do. Motherfuckers. Alright. Now this video I'm not going to get too angry because it really only deals with ignorance. Videos that anger me, or problems that anger me, are the mental midgeted Americans. Americans, when it comes to technology, they're idiots, morons, they're stupid, they're mental midgets. And to me there are no excuses because there's so many resources in America. There's free resources. You can go to your local library and there's all kinds of books that you can find that will teach you how to use a computer. You can even buy software from television. I don't watch television. That's stupid. Television to me is stupid. It's dumbed down. It's idiotic. It's stupid. You don't learn anything. It's propaganda. The government military bombards you with propaganda through the television. It's just stupid. But yes, you can actually, at least 2 decades, there's an individual that sells software for like $10 or even 20 or whatever, teaching you how to use a computer. This video is not going to irritate me because it's just ignorance. There's a difference between stupidity and ignorance. Ignorance can be quickly cured because it just means that you don't know. Whereas stupidity could be something problematic because you're lazy, or I don't get it. I don't understand the lack of I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to discuss it. Alright. So another request from a third-party website where I earn supplemental income answering computer and technology-related questions. And I'm not the only computer technician on the internet that admits that he has to deal with idiots and morons and stupid people and dumbasses on a daily basis. There's an average computer user, a high percentage of them are just, I don't know what their problem is. To me, they're lazy. They don't want to learn just the easiest tasks. Now, Lenovo Vantage. I hate when technology companies perpetrate this type of activity. I hate it when they either they try to rebrand their company or they try to change the name of like software or computers that they've always been named. So this is like the 3rd or 4th different name change for Lenovo when it comes to their support software. When you buy a brand new Lenovo computer, whether it's a desktop or laptop, it comes with original equipment manufacturing software. It's maintenance software. It will provide updates. Is all it is. It's just maintenance software. Instead of Windows updates, you have Lenovo updates. Well, these clowns, they're always changing the name, which to me is just it just drives me up a wall because it's bad enough the amount of ignorance in technology. It's bad enough that you have all of these computer users that have no business using a computer because they don't know how to use a computer. They don't even know what a web browser is. They can't even remember their Mac password. They can't even remember their Apple ID password. They can't even remember their Windows password. They can't even remember their Android password. All day long on this third-party website, they can't even remember their email password. And so what you're doing is you're just basically taking tear gas and spraying it into an angry mob. Or you're taking, flammable liquid and pouring it on an existing fire. So you're exacerbating that problem by you confusing an average user. Because an average computer user, a high percentage, I would say over 50% with my experiences. That's probably why I get angry and I admit I'm mentally ill because I have to fucking deal with these goddamn clowns that, in my opinion, they should not be using a computer. They have no business using a computer. You know why? Because they don't even know how to properly use it. Because it's obvious to me that they have not educated themselves. I said I wasn't going to get worked up. When you rename software, then it's going to confuse people. They may have bought a Lenovo laptop from you 10 years ago. Oh, back then it had... I mean, look at how many different name changes. Where is it at now? Where's it at? I know I included it in my blog post. Lenovo Companion. Lenovo Settings. Lenovo Account Portal. So this is the fucking fourth time that the mental midgets at Lenovo, I'm assuming the marketing department, thought that they had a brilliant idea. Oh, let's rename the software on our computers that provide updates. Video graphics updates, BIOS updates, operating system updates for peripherals, serial bus updates. Oh, let's call it Lenovo Vantage. Well, what the fuck is Lenovo Vantage? I don't know. I've never heard of it. Oh, it might be spyware. It might be malware. It might be junkware. It might be like Malwarebytes. It might be crapware like Malwarebytes. Malwarebytes is crapware, by the way, and I'm not the only one that knows that. All you have to do is read their reviews, and they're going down. They deserve to go down. There's an existing lawsuit that was rectified from a French company is taking on Malwarebytes because Malwarebytes, they're a corrupt criminal corporation. They stole one of my YouTube videos. I should take them to court, but the problem is you have to have money, capital. You have to have a legal team, and for one, in this wretched system of capitalism, when one person tries to take on a group of people, well, they turn into savages, and, you know, it gets ugly. But Malwarebytes is dealing with another company suing them. So I'm not the only entity on this planet that hates Malwarebytes. Here is quoted verbatim, but the quotes got fucked up, so I don't know. I don't give a shit. I can quickly fix that. I'm not perfect. Oh yeah, I admit when I... Oh yeah, but fuck you. You got all these politically correct bitches and assholes on YouTube. Well, don't do this. Don't admit when you're wrong. Don't admit you made a mistake. Don't point out your flaws. No, fuck you. Don't tell me what to do. Yeah, look. It's I quoted it twice. So I fucked up. Well, I can go back and fix that. What's wrong with admitting when you make a mistake? Huh? I got a pop-up from Lenovo Vantage that says, Lenovo recommends that you install these updates to optimize your computer. Please note the following updates may require your system to reboot more than once. We recommend saving your work in preparation for system shutdown. BIOS update 1064. I'm assuming that refers to Windows 10 and then 64-bit. I could be wrong, but that's the only logical numbers that makes sense. Unquote. I wanted to find out if this was real or a scam. Thanks for any help you can give me. See, this is a Lenovo customer. They just brought a brand new Lenovo IdeaPad 320. Brand new right out of the box. And they've noticed, I think twice, they received a pop-up. Now, it could be ignorance. They're not familiar with Windows 10. They're not familiar with Microsoft. Somebody just subscribed. But I don't... I just noticed that. Kwame Carr just subscribed. Well, they'll probably unsubscribe as soon as they hear my loud mouth or my adult language or the fact that I don't like certain religious groups or the fact that I talk about and criticize the United States government military as being liars and blah, 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 blah. So that subscriber will probably disappear. Do I care? No. I do not care about subscribers. If you're offended by that, I don't give a fuck. I just need enough subscribers to... YouTube has the dumb shit 4,000 view hours per year and 1,000 subscriber rule. I've bypassed that. Well, not bypassed. I've surpassed that requirement a long time ago, so I don't worry about it. But I do keep that in the back of my head that YouTube could possibly move the goalposts again, and instead of requiring 1,000 subscribers in order for you to monetize your videos and monetize your YouTube channel, well, that could change to 10,000, and I would be fucked. And then I would be begging you, I'm sorry, I yelled at you, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, I'm not perfect, please don't judge me. Please subscribe to my channel. Please. I'm in desperate need. No, you'll never hear from that. Even if YouTube changed, I would just leave. Unless I felt I could catch up, but that's a big number. Oh, you got the YouTube technology shills that they claim that, well, one of them claims that you're not legit until you've received 100,000 subscribers. I'm not making this shit up. That's how snobby and narcissistic these motherfuckers are. There's one huge YouTube, I consider him a shill, YouTube technology shill that claims that if you do not have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, then you're not legit. You're not in the game. You're not important enough. Well, you know what? Don't worry about subscribers. Who cares about subscribers, man? Why do you want to become popular? So just because you have 300,000 subscribers or 800,000 subscribers, you feel that now all of a sudden you're important or now you're legitimate. You weren't legitimate when you only had 1,000 subscribers. You were not legitimate when you had 50,000. It's only until you surpass a certain number, now you're legitimate. Now you're a game changer. I don't give a fuck about that dumb shit. You know why? Because I've received over 2.6 million views now. You know how many subscribers I have? I don't even know the exact count. I know it's over 2,600. That's all I know. But you know how many views I've received? Over 2.6 million. And actually that number is closer to 2,700,000 because Malwarebytes stole one of my videos, so I lost views for that. And then I received another video taken down, and that video had like 30,000. So I think about 50,000 views don't show up. Now, when it comes to a BIOS upgrade, I got to move along. I've got lunch. I've got an avocado. I've got some avocados I've got to eat. When I went to the store, they were on sale 2 for 1, and I quickly I was like, my eyes were like, I love avocados. Oh, I know it has a lot of fat, but your brain needs fat. See, I'm a vegan. I don't like labels, but yeah, if you were to call me a vegan, I don't take offense to it. I know some vegans now don't like being labeled vegans, or they don't like to label themselves a vegan. I like it because, well, it's just a word. It's abstract. It has a definition. I do not consume animal products, although I'm not perfect. If somebody, believe it or not, within the last year I've eaten cooked food, and I've also eaten animal food. Some people, if they offer me free food, if they offer to buy me lunch and I can't get around it. I had one of my customers, believe it or not, he went to breakfast, and then I'm available on the weekends, and he went to like La Peeps or something like that and had breakfast. I used to eat that crap. I don't eat it anymore. But he had a whole breakfast that I don't know if he ordered it for somebody that didn't show up. I don't know. He had a spare entire breakfast, and he took it home with him, and then when he picked up the computer, he offered it to me. And I accept that as a gift. And yes, I will eat it. Because when it comes to food, I hate seeing food go to waste. But these Americans are pigs and slobs, and they waste everything. Well, well, look, they walk around like this. Well, you need to study nutrition. Animal meat sits in your colon up to 2 years. So anyways, I don't want to digress too much, but see, I'm already bored with this video. I'm already tired. I might just end it now, and that's it. Click on click on the link in the description box below. That'll take you to my blog post on my website, internetcomputers.com, where you could read all about how to upgrade and update your BIOS on Lenovo with Lenovo Vantage. Adios. All right, so when it comes to performing a BIOS update, even now, you know, we're approaching 2 decades into the 2000s. I take BIOS updates very seriously because there's always a possibility that they will fuck up and your computer won't boot. Now, back in the day, 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, but especially 2 decades ago, in the early 90s when the personal computer was exploding, and after IBM patented, I could be wrong about that, but I think IBM holds the patent on the personal computer. In the late 80s, but especially the early 90s, early to mid 90s, you had the explosion with with computers. Everybody could afford a computer. Well, not everybody. Not everybody can afford a computer now, and it deals with European supremacy, but I don't want to digress about that. But back then, you know, you had the internet, you had the World Wide Web, computers became more and more affordable. Compared to now, they were very, very expensive, but even I could afford one. But I made myself afford. You know what I did? This is a true fact. I took my loan. I took out a student loan, and I used most of it, well, that allotment of it. I used that allotment of it, which technically you're not supposed to do. I used it all for a computer. I bought a brand new tower. I bought a brand new printer and a brand new monitor. It came with a keyboard and a mouse and operating system and all that. And guess what? 2 decades later, it was only about $2,000 or whatever it was. But even back then, that was a lot of money. And I think you know what I'm saying? 2 decades later, by me using that money, I'm able to, you know, take care of myself. My point is, it was an excellent return on investment. It was a better return on investment because actually I dropped out of college and fuck college. That's a waste of time. All right, I digress. So BIOS upgrades back in the day were very risky because you had to know what you were doing. You had to download, they used to refer to it as flashing because you would flash the BIOS. BIOSes are basic. The basic input-output system is basically read-only memory, but there's a portion of it that can be flashed, and that's what they used to refer to it. You had to download it onto a floppy disk. Now, sometimes you could download the program that would create the floppy disk, but if not, you had to know how to create a bootable floppy disk. Then you had to copy the file, the config file, onto the disk, and then you had to boot off the floppy disk, and then you had to start, and then the BIOS flash updating program would start, and you would have to tell the program either the exact name of the config file or the file path, and then it would flash the BIOS. It took a lot longer, and there were risks. It was a lot riskier. There was a couple of computers I think I fucked. Well, the BIOS will fail. You know, if it fails, you're fucked. But back then there was ways around it. What you would have to do is you would have to download the original BIOS or an older one and then try to flash it again, and then sometimes the BIOS updates, they were buggy or they just didn't work or they failed. And if you couldn't fix it, you had a bricked computer, which did occur. Nowadays, 2 decades later, it does. I do see on this third-party website, I do see people where they try to flash the BIOS and then all of a sudden the computer isn't booting correctly or something goes wrong. Whereas if you follow directions and you know what you're doing, it's a lot less riskier. It's a lot easier. Most times all you do is like Lenovo Vantage. Lenovo Vantage will automatically update your BIOS for you. Well, you can control. You can set Lenovo Vantage to automatic updates. I don't recommend that because even these original equipment manufacturer softwares like Lenovo Vantage, Dell has a tool, HP has a tool. They all have their tools where they will check for updates and for your computer. Well, they're not perfect. So, but nowadays it's much easier. the software will download it, and then it'll install it, and then it'll warn you, and then it'll tell you you have to restart the computer. The computer restarts. Now technically a BIOS cannot be upgraded while the operating system is running. The BIOS because get it, the basic input output system, so it has to restart, and I think it gets installed in memory instead of like off a floppy, and then virtual memory, and then it's very quick. It's a lot quicker. Back in the day, 20 years ago, you'd be sitting there. Well, you have to realize that the architecture was slower, but even off a floppy, the files weren't that big. A floppy was limited to 1.44 megabytes, so about but no, it would take a long. It would just sit there. Oh my God! And then you knew the risks. Oh yeah. If any technician tells you that back 20 years ago that BIOS updates were flawless and perfect and you didn't have to worry, they're lying. There's a lot of liars on YouTube, and there's a lot of fucking liars on the technology channels. Pathological liars too. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I don't care if I tell you the truth. I don't care if I tell you that Microsoft Windows... Individuals on Google search every day 10,000 to 100,000 times. Windows Start menu is not working. Why are there 10,000 to 100,000 searches every month for the term Windows 10 Start menu is not working? See? BIOS update. Am I going to go through... I'm not going to tell you, I can't demonstrate it. But Lenovo Vantage. Okay, so Lenovo Vantage is the brilliant buffoons, the brilliant mental midgets, I'm assuming in the sales and marketing department at Lenovo. For the fourth time now, they decided to fucking change their maintenance software. The name. Well, you just fucking confused your users. And this is proof. This person thought that it was malware. They didn't know what the fuck it was. They received a couple of pop-ups from some software called Vantage. I don't even know if it said, did it say Lenovo? Let's see. Oh, well, there was a clue. Lenovo Vantage, but you never know. Oh yeah, there's malware out there and spyware that they will falsify, and they will claim that the software is from an existing technology company. Yes, but there was a clue there. If it was me, I would have figured it out, but I'm a computer technician, and I know better than that. But I would have been confused too, because this is something new. Lenovo Vantage hasn't been around. It was designed specifically, succinctly, exclusively for Microsoft Windows 10. I don't think it runs on Windows 7. I don't think you can download it and install it on Windows 7. You can download it and install it from the Microsoft Store, but it will only work on Windows 10. And it is built in. If you buy a brand new Lenovo, it will have the software already installed and loaded, and you'll start getting notifications. But they had never heard of the software. I don't think I've ever heard of it. Again, I don't have time to sit there and, Dell just renamed their fucking maintenance software. Well, okay, Hewlett-Packard renamed their maintenance software. Well, Macintosh, the Time Machine backups are no longer... Well, goddammit, Aaron, didn't you know that Apple renamed the Time Machine backups to going back in time? Goddammit, Aaron, keep up with the Joneses, Aaron. Goddammit, you're not much of a technician, are you, Aaron? Goddammit. Here's a warning. If you do decide to become a vegan, you need to become aware that you may, if you do things right, when you get your transcendence of consciousness, you're going to have more energy than you may have ever had. But you need to deal with that. But another warning about veganism is you have to eat more. It depends on. I eat some cooked food, but primarily I prefer raw food, raw fruits and vegetables. Well, when you decide to eat mostly, if not all, raw fruits and vegetables are densely water. They're water-based. It's a water-based food. I mean, grapes, celery, cucumbers, tomatoes. They have a lot of water. So you need to become aware that you have to eat more. I would say anywhere from 3 to 5 times more, because it's very water dense. You know what I'm saying? So in order for you to get enough calories, you still need calories. If you need 2,000 calories and you start eating just raw fruits and vegetables, you're going to have to start consuming 3 to 5 times more than maybe another person, because foods like rice and beans and oats, grains, meat, that crap. Well, it's not all crap, but that kind of food it doesn't nearly have as much water. It's protein based, carb based. It's whereas fruits and vegetables is dense with water, which is good. Which that water is good for you, but it lacks carbs and fats and proteins and sugars, because it's water based. Although the water, I don't want to digress about what I've studied about fucking raw fruits and vegetables. But once you climb that ladder and once you figured out that you're getting enough calories, you are going to just compared to other people, you'll just all right. So you have to become aware of that. I do not consume caffeine except for green tea. I don't drink coffee, and I'm wired. So a lot of times I have to amp myself down. I got to control myself. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like stimulants are bad for you. Coffee is a waste. Now coffee does have some healthful benefits, like cancer patients can use coffee and enemas to try to, rid themselves of cancer. There is some benefits with cancer. What the fuck am I saying, man? There is some benefits with cancer. See, I just made a major articulated blunder. Do I care? No. There is some benefits to coffee, but overall, the pros and the cons, there's too many cons. I don't like stimulants anymore. In my opinion, if you have to consume coffee to get enough energy in your day to make videos or to have enough energy to become, vibrant and on your videos, there's something else wrong with you, man. Because I don't need to consume any caffeine. And now fruit juices help, but when I consume enough fruits and vegetables, I've got plenty of energy, trust me. Alright, so basically with Lenovo Vantage, when you first open it, it may ask you a couple of questions. I closed it. It'll ask you some personal preferences. I didn't want to deal with it, so I closed it. I opened it again the next time I opened it. Now, this was on a brand new computer. It didn't ask me for those preferences. It'll open up, and then it'll check for updates. There's an automatic feature. You can disable it. You can either leave the Lenovo Vantage automatic updates enabled, or you can turn it off. It'll check for updates. On this computer, there was only one update, and it was a BIOS update. I clicked on it. It downloaded, and then it asked me. Now, it will warn you. This is another caveat. Even nowadays, I would take BIOS upgrades serious because they are lethal. Now, Windows 10 updates are lethal, and Malwarebytes updates are lethal. Malwarebytes updates will cause your computer not to boot or to crash or to freeze up or whatever. You know what I'm saying? A BIOS update can cause your computer to never boot again. The post will the BIOS post, the test, the self-test, it can cause the computer never to boot again. And sometimes those are permanent damages. You may never be able to fix that BIOS again, even now. So BIOS updates are not perfect. I would take it very serious. If you have a laptop, always plug in the AC adapter. You do not ever want the computer to turn off during a BIOS update. Never. You never want that to occur, because chances are it was halfway in between. It was partially flashing the BIOS. And if it gets stuck, chances are you won't be able to fix it, and you just have a brick. You just bricked your computer. So if you have a laptop, plug in your AC adapter. You do not want to perform a BIOS update off the battery, just in case. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't take the risk. That's one thing you need to know. Your computer has to restart because the BIOS cannot be flashed while an operating system is running and a file system is mounted. Now they're much quicker than back in the day. They're really quick. I was surprised. I was like, back in the day, you'd sit there and you were like kind of a little, just cautious and then once the BIOS did finish updating, you're like, whew. Now, when I worked in corporate America, which I never will do again, and I worked for the federal government, which I will never do again, thankfully I wasn't dumb enough to join the military. Let's see, Henry Kissinger is quoted as saying, military men are dumb, stupid animals used for foreign policy. I digress back to this video. My experiences in corporate America and the government America, we were never tasked with flashing BIOSes, updating BIOSes, except unless there was a known bug that the IT department decided to rectify. Other than that, we never flashed BIOSes. Never. Not 10 years ago, not 20 years ago. So, I don't know what the information technology departments decide now in corporate America, government America. Quite frankly, I don't give a fuck. But we were not tasked with that. Anything else about a BIOS update? That's it. Now then, this individual, I had them, now I remotely connected into their computer, and a warning. Now, most BIOSes, from my experience, if you try to install the wrong BIOS on the wrong computer, it will error out. But I wouldn't risk it because nothing is perfect. You know what I'm saying? I know the pale-skinned Europeans claim that their system is perfect, but they're full of shit. That's part of their European supremacy. They want you to think that it's acceptable to murder 95% of the indigenous off of a continent and then replace their system with some dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? And of course they're going to use propaganda, and of course they're going to lie to you and make you think that what, society now is perfect, when no, it is far from perfect. There are major problems on this continent. This upgrade warned me. It said, are you sure you want to update your BIOS for, and it gave me the model. Now this BIOS update supported both, what was it? it was 320 IA, here it is. This BIOS update supported 320 14 IAP and 320 15 IAP. Those were specific Lenovo model numbers. So make sure, if in doubt, don't perform a BIOS update. If you're in doubt, don't do it until you make sure that you've got the right computer. Now, this was a brand new computer. All I did was go into Windows 10 settings, and then I went into system. Or another quick way is, let's see, I can demonstrate probably really quick. Another way is to just do this. Right click the Windows 10 start menu button. There are 10,000 to 100,000 searches per month for the search term of Windows 10 start menu button does not work. Now why is that? So right click it and then choose system. And on this Lenovo IdeaPad 320, it told me the exact model. And so I verified it. Another way you can verify it is if you have the serial number, you can look it up at Lenovo's website or if on the box. Here's a gold, well, you may think this is a funny gold tip, oh, Aaron, we know that you're a fucking lunatic vegan and you're a tree hugger, you love nature, you despise the pale-skinned Europeans that have destroyed the planet and are at war constantly, and blah, blah, blah. We are sick and tired of your goddamn bullshit, Aaron. Well, here's a gold tip. If you buy a brand new computer, save everything. Save the box. You know why? Because my experiences as a bitch boy, as a computer technician, where many times my job was to unbox computers or clean up the boxes or break down the boxes or inventory the boxes or scan the serial codes, blah, 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 scan the barcodes and inventory, blah, blah. a lot of times the computer model number is on a sticker on the outside of the box. Or sometimes you'll get a little booklet, a little quick start guide or a little manual, and your model will be in that manual, or even the serial number might be in that manual. A computer model number and a serial number is very valuable as a technician, because I can look up the specifications, I can look up the warranty, I can reorder parts, blah blah blah. So that can be very valuable to save the box. And plus, if you have the original box, if you move, that box, now you may not know this, but a lot of the boxes that when you go to Best Buy or you go to Micro Center, or even when you order a computer online and it gets shipped to you, and the computer might come with 2 boxes, or it might be just 1 box. Believe it or not, to save money, a lot of the original equipment manufacturers, they will ship out the same box that you get the computer at a retail store. They will ship the computer in those same boxes. It's not like now sometimes they put one box inside of a box, but a lot of times they don't. And I know from experiences, because I've bought refurbished computers directly from Dell. Dell has, I'm not giving Dell free advertising, I'm just in context. Dell has a refurbished store. The prices are kind of high, but I've bought some computers from them, and they're very nice. There are very few scratches. The operating systems are already loaded, very well taken care of. Anyways, they shipped me that computer in the original box. It was not a box within a box, and you know what? It only had like it didn't have a bunch of peanuts. It didn't have a bunch of paper or a bunch of bubble wrap. No, it had. I don't want to digress too much. It only had one item to keep the computer from moving. Other than that, it was a box that you would get the computer if you worked at a corporation or if you bought it from Best Buy. I'm not making that shit up. So you can also most likely ship that computer in the same box if you keep it, or you can, when you move, you just put the laptop in that box. Yes, knowing ignorance is bliss until you die from a vaccination. Ignorance is bliss until you try to perform a BIOS update and then you're like, uh-oh. So even now, I would definitely not risk it. I would make sure that you're installing the same BIOS update for the correct model number of computer. This BIOS update, you could install it on 2 different models, and I double checked. So, you know what I'm saying? And then that was it. I made sure that the computer model number matched, and I kicked off the update, and then the computer restarted. And then I had the customer go into Lenovo Vantage and double check to make sure the BIOS successfully upgraded. And I don't know, they said yes. And then they checked for updates. There were no more Lenovo updates, and that was it. So, ignorance, but they learned. And there's nothing, this video didn't piss me off because it was just ignorance. One definition of ignorance is you just don't know. I don't mind that. When people, in technology, I don't expect them to know everything. No. I've never said that an average American I don't like most Americans. That's a bad example. I've never said that an average human should know everything that I know, because they do something else. They wash vehicles for a living, or they're stockbrokers, or they're Bitcoin, or they're a bitch boy or a bitch girl, and they sit in a cubicle all day, or they're a developer, or they're a construction worker, or they're a mechanic, or whatever. They're busy doing other stuff. No, I don't have a problem. No, that doesn't bother me. What bothers me is that, in my opinion, an average user, they're lazy. They don't want to go to the bookstore or go to the library. There are countless computer books at your local library. Most libraries are online now. You can look it up. You can search, how to use a computer. Don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid. Do you know I think I only bought 2 computer books early on, and then I'm self-taught. I think I bought like a dummy's guide to computers, or idiots, back then, there's still I don't like those terms anymore. I think that's derogatory. I don't like terms like nerd or geek. No. See, in my opinion, there's a propaganda campaign, especially in America, to dumb down society. The dumbification of society. They want you to become an idiot and a moron and stupid and an imbecile and a mental midget. Whereas I'm like, no, that doesn't make logical sense. Don't be ashamed. Who cares what other people think about? You could go off to the library and look for those dummies books or idiots books or how to use a computer. That's how I learned. I didn't know when I used that loan money to purchase my very first computer. The only other experiences with computers were college. The lab had brand new IBM. Well, I don't know about brand new, but they had Pentium IBM computers, very expensive. And I had a lot of lab experience. I took a business course in high school. Guess what? There were only 2 males in that course, and then the other one left. At the beginning of that business class, I would say there was a handful of males, guys, about 5 of us. Well, eventually we were down to 2, and then about halfway through that course, I was the last guy in that class. I'm not making this shit up. There were about 20 to 30 females, and then me. The only other male in that room was the teacher. That was it. It was a business class. We learned how to type. It was a second level typing. It wasn't first level typing where you never learn how to type on a typewriter. It was like a second level type where you learn more advanced and you learn how to type faster. Then we learned how to use computers. And that was extremely valuable. And I also learned how I got more experiences typing on a keyboard. And I can type by touch. I don't need to, no, I don't need, and I don't do this, chicken scratch. No. I can type by touch, not chicken scratch, just like this. And I can type, I'm not bragging, but I can type over 50 words per minute. I've tested myself. I've had to try to get some jobs and some supplemental income, and sometimes like a virtual assistant or a work from home assistant, and they'll make you take a typing exam and they'll tell you the score, and I scored in the 50s. So with some mistakes, but you can't make too many mistakes. Well, that's a metaphor and a euphemism for the system, which is very ironic, but I digress back to this. Anything else about the Lenovo Vantage? No, it's clear cut. It's new. That's a big problem. I hate it. I don't think that's productive. You're just going to confuse the users. Why? Oh, this is the fucking 4th time that you've named this goddamn software? Why? But that's whatever. Good luck. See, I didn't get as upset, did I? At the beginning I did, but no, I don't mind making videos like this because they didn't know, and that was very, I would if you don't know something, if you've never heard of Lenovo, even their customers aren't going to know until they buy a new Lenovo. Oh, well, what the fuck is this? Or they'll be like this. Well, where the fuck is Lenovo Connections? Well, where the fuck is, what's the name of the other crap? It's been a while since I've owned a Lenovo, so, and then you know what? A lot of times I remove that crap software, but that's just me. Oh, well, where the fuck is Lenovo Companion? Well, where the fuck is Lenovo Settings? I want to upgrade my brand new Lenovo. Well, goddamn it, where the fuck is Lenovo Account Portal? Well, goddamn it, I'm getting shafted here. Adios.